First things first, Phoebe, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm alright, thank you. So before we talk about your record, I'd like to jump back to the beginning quickly. And I read somewhere that you have somewhat of a record collection.
Yeah.
Do you remember which record started it all?
Probably something my mom gave me, and if I were to guess, probably a Jackson Browne record.
Okay.
Probably.
So
Like maybe like For Every Man.
So let's take Jackson Browne.
That would be my guess. Yeah.
Did you like this record? Because you say your mother gave it to you.
I loved that record.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved it a lot.
And then, well, what about it? Was it that kind of caught your attention?
I think probably around that time, people my age were listening to like a lot of like pop punk and like really happy, positive music, and I liked that it was really dark.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
At this time, I don't know how old you were, but were you already making your own music or thinking about making music?
I can't really remember thinking about doing anything else. Maybe when I was like a very little kid, I wanted to be like a marine biologist. But I was always singing, and I think I always kind of wanted to play music, yeah. Maybe even before that.
And do you know what kind of motivated you to go down this route? And I read that your parents were very supportive.
Yeah. I think it was just maybe it was something dark, like I just liked to get the attention, but I really did like the attention of like when I started learning guitar, someone would be like, "Oh, will you learn this song and like play it for me and my friends?" But again, I don't really remember wanting to do anything else, so
Okay.
So I think I just like romanticized it from an early age.
So early on, what was one of the tracks that you played to impress people?
Ooh. My mom used to have like a St. Patrick's Day party, and she would make me play Danny Boy. So very early, but I think the first song I ever sang really was Puff the Magic Dragon.
Okay.
So there's that. Yeah.
And I believe I read somewhere that you started writing at age 11. So at that point, what did you write about?
Ooh, I think I wrote my first ever song about my like best friend was moving schools.
Okay.
I think that's the first thing I wrote about. Yeah.
And then this might be difficult to pinpoint, but what did it to you? What did writing those things down and kind of expressing them? Did it have any effect on you?
Yeah, absolutely. But all my favorite musicians were singer-songwriters, so all my favorite people wrote their own songs, and I think that's kind of what attracted it. I don't think there was ever really another option for me. Like I always wanted to do it.
And how long did it take you from Puff the Magic Dragon to writing something that you were proud of and you thought, okay, now I'm on to something?
Well, I was probably proud a little too early, but I think when I really started taking it seriously and like some of the songs that I still play from when I was like 16. So probably 16 is when I'd say I started really taking it seriously.
You say you still play. What is one of the songs that you?
I started writing the song Georgia, which is on the album probably when I was like 16, which I think is why it differs so much from the rest of the record. But yeah.
Do you? Well, it's a long time ago, but do you remember what kind of originated that track?
Yeah, I think I had gotten like a Feist song stuck in my head wrong. I remember, and figured out that it actually wasn't a Feist song that I had stuck in my head. It was just something that I'd come up with, and that I was putting Feist lyrics to. Like I must have misheard something, and then I just started writing. Yeah.
You say your favorite musicians at that time were singer-songwriters. So what was it about words and kind of putting a story out there or storytelling that you gravitated towards?
Just Elliott Smith said that his songs are like little pictures, and that always was really attractive to me. It really does kind of feel like little pictures or a little snapshot of like an emotional time.
In that sense, are your songs, I suppose it's different for each one, but are they generally autobiographical?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. Sometimes I, get obsessed with a TV show or something, but usually, yeah.
Okay. Is that an easy thing to do, to kind of open yourself up that way?
I get that question sometimes, and I always think about something my friend Julien Baker said. She said that, she said maybe if she had known that so many people were gonna hear it, she might not have written so vulnerably, but I kind of have, I haven't really had that problem yet of like feeling too vulnerable. At least so far in writing, I just kind of don't think about it, which maybe isn't healthy, but I really don't think about it and haven't had to yet. So it is weird. It's weird, but let's see if it gets weirder, I guess.
But that's interesting because when you started writing, what was, and it's a little bit weird, but what was the aim, so to say? Because like you say, you don't know if you have an audience. So what did you get out of it?
It's just like, I don't know. I felt compelled to do it, and it's definitely really satisfying to write and like be done with something.
Do you have to be in a certain mood? Because, well, you mentioned it already, but you gravitate a little bit more to the darker side. So do you have to be in a certain mood to write songs? Or?
I don't think so. I mean, I have written songs that I wrote when I was really emotional, but I think most of the time it's months later or whatever after something happened that I can kind of like look at it and want to write about it. So yeah, I don't think so. I think it's kind of whenever.
And then have you figured out maybe now after all these years of songwriting why you gravitate more towards the darker elements? And
I don't think I've figured it out, but it definitely gets worse and worse. Like it definitely isn't going to stop anytime soon. So.
But in a sense, you don't seem like the emo type, so to say. So how does that work? That's why I asked. Do you have to be in a certain mood? So when you start writing, what is the thought process?
I don't know, maybe I make so many self-deprecating jokes about being emo, but I've always kind of thought of myself as like hilariously emo. Okay. Me and all my friends, but yeah, I guess I'm not like smoking a clove cigarette and like brooding with my hair in my face or whatever, but yeah, I think I'm always kind of,
okay.
I definitely tune into that side of my brain when I'm writing.
Would you ever write a really happy poppy song?
I have. I used to in high school. But yeah, it's not. I think, and there is a song on the record that's a little bit more poppy, and it was definitely really fun to write and record. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens more. Maybe. Yeah.